Welcome to the film economy, where we exclusively analyze the business blueprint behind independent and low-budget films. We're here to break down the movie budgets, the box office analysis, and answer the big questions. How do small movies work? How do they make a profit? Let's find out.
Welcome to Screen Profits, where the real drama is in the budget lines and the biggest twist is the box office return. We pull back the curtain on Hollywood's accounting to see what makes a film a financial masterpiece or a fiscal flop. Before we break down its incredible success, let's answer the first question: where to watch this movie? For those searching where to watch Parasite 2019, it is currently available to stream with a subscription on Max. If you're not a subscriber, you can easily find where to watch Parasite 2019 by renting it on services like Apple TV and Google Play. Every once in a while, a film comes along that isn't just one of the hit movies of the year, but a true global event. A film that transcends language, borders, and genre to become a permanent part of our cultural conversation. It's one of those timeless movies that generates endless analysis, sparks countless fan theories, and dominates movie ranking lists for years to come. Today, we are launching into a comprehensive movie breakdown of one of the most important and celebrated films of the 21st century. A masterpiece that is both a thrilling piece of entertainment and a razor-sharp social commentary. The Academy Award-winning sensation, Parasite 2019. If you've been searching for a full movie-explained analysis that goes deep into the story, the characters, and the finances, you have come to the right place. In the classic hit Parasite 2019, starring the legendary South Korean actor Kang-ho as the clever but down-on-his-luck patriarch Kim Tae-ik, and directed by the modern master Bong Joon-ho, best known for his critically acclaimed films like the sci-fi epic Snowpiercer and the creature feature, the host audiences experienced a landmark release from the South Korean production studio CJ Entertainment, with the brilliant indie distributor Neon handling its historic U.S. release. Even years later, Parasite 2019 is still compared to other major films that tackle themes of class and social hierarchy, such as Jordan Peele's Us or Rian Johnson's Knives Out. Its lasting impact on global cinema is undeniable, and it remains one of the top-rated movies on streaming platforms like Hulu and Amazon Prime, where new generations of film enthusiasts are constantly discovering its genius. This film's incredible journey from an international art house darling to a Best Picture winner is a story worth a deep dive box office breakdown and production budget analysis of its own, which we will get into shortly. The plot summary of Parasite 2019 is a masterclass in escalating tension and genre-bending storytelling. The film is a brilliant, almost unclassifiable blend of dark comedy, heist film, domestic thriller, and searing social satire. The story follows the Kim family, a clever and tight-knit clan living in a squalid semi-basement apartment in Seoul. The cast is a perfect ensemble, with the brilliant Kang-ho as the father Kim Tae-ik, Jang Hae-jin as the resourceful mother Chung-suk, Choi Woo-shik as the ambitious son Kai-woo, and Park So-dam as the sharp-witted daughter Kai-young. When Kai-woo gets a job tutoring the daughter of the wealthy and glamorous Park family, he hatches a plan. One by one, the Kims cunningly infiltrate the Park's magnificent modern home, posing as unrelated, highly qualified domestic workers. The first half of this incredible movie breakdown of Parasite 2019 reveals a wickedly funny and incredibly satisfying heist film, as we watch the Kims expertly con their way into a life of luxury. But this is a Bong Joon-ho film, and nothing is ever as it seems. The official trailer for Parasite 2019 masterfully hinted at a darker turn without giving away the film's shocking secrets, building immense buzz and curiosity. The film's second half takes a sudden, terrifying turn, transforming the story into a tense and claustrophobic thriller that will leave you breathless. If you're a fan of similar movies that start in one genre and audaciously shift into another, Parasite 2019 will be one of your new fan-favorite movies. The audience reactions to its shocking twists and its unforgettable ending are a huge part of its legacy. Throughout this series, we will be providing a full movie-explained deep dive, but for now, just know that the story's incredible twists are a huge part of its success. Understanding the box office breakdown and production budget is key to appreciating just how massive an achievement this film was. The journey of Parasite 2019 is a testament to the power of original storytelling, and it stands as one of the most essential must-watch movies of our time. Now let's pull back the curtain on the artistry and analyze Parasite 2019 from a cold, hard financial perspective. For investors, Parasite 2019 is more than just a critically acclaimed film. It is one of the most successful and profitable independent film investments of the modern era. It's a powerful case study in how a modest, efficiently managed studio investment in a foreign market can produce a phenomenal global return, completely shattering all initial projections and creating immense value. The entire financial journey of this film is a story of how a perfect storm of artistic genius and award season momentum can dramatically elevate both the global gross forecast and the long-term equity stake valuation of an intellectual property. Let's begin with the foundation of the investment, the production budget. By Hollywood standards, Parasite 2019 was produced for an incredibly lean figure. The production budget was an estimated $11.5 million, a micro-budget for a film of its visual polish and scope. For comparison, a typical American drama or thriller from a major studio often sees budgets in the $40–60 million range. This incredibly controlled budget was the cornerstone of the film's financial model and a testament to the efficiency of the South Korean film industry. The financing structure was primarily a domestic affair, fully financed by the South Korean media giant CJ Entertainment. This meant that the initial financial risk was contained. A complete box office failure, while painful, would not have been a catastrophic event. The film's primary monetization streams began with its domestic theatrical release in South Korea, where it was a massive hit. Initially, the global gross forecast for a foreign-language film, even one that won the prestigious Palme d'Or at Cannes, would have been relatively modest. A successful international run might have aimed for a global gross forecast of $50 to $80 million. This would have already guaranteed a very healthy ROI, return on investment, and made the film a solid financial success, positively impacting its equity stake valuation. However, the Oscar campaign changed everything. The historic wins for Best Director and, crucially, Best Picture at the Academy Awards acted as a massive financial catalyst. This didn't just boost the box office. It completely reset the global gross forecast into the hundreds of millions. The film's domestic U.S. box office exploded post-Oscars, ultimately grossing over $53 million, an almost unheard-of figure for a subtitled film. The final worldwide gross soared to over $263 million. This is where we see the power of the film's profitability metrics. On a $263 million. This is where we see the power of the film's profitability metrics. On a $11.5 million budget, a $263 million gross represents a staggering return of over 22x on the initial investment. This incredible overperformance sent the equity stake valuation of the Parasite 2019 IP into the stratosphere. Before the Oscars, it was a valuable art house hit. After the Oscars, it became a globally recognized, blue-chip cultural asset with immense potential for future monetization streams, including a rumored HBO series, proving that a modest investment, when paired with transcendent quality, can outperform even the biggest Hollywood blockbusters. A film can have a brilliant script and visionary direction, but without the right actors to breathe life into its characters, it's just words on a page. The enduring power of a timeless movie like Parasite 2019 lies in the unforgettable, perfectly calibrated, and deeply human performances of its incredible ensemble cast. Today, we're taking a closer look at the brilliant actors who brought the Kim and Park families to life. This is the part of our analysis where each major character explained in detail, offering a behind-the-scenes look at the casting genius that made this film a global phenomenon. The performances in Parasite 2019 are a huge reason why this film remains one of the most rewatchable movies for cinema fans who appreciate the art of acting. At the heart of Parasite 2019 is the Kim family, our lovable, con artist protagonists. Leading the family is the legendary South Korean actor Kang-ho in his fourth and arguably most famous collaboration with director Bong Joon-ho. He plays Kim Kae-teik, the family patriarch, a man who represents the archetype of the clever underdog. Kang-ho brings a world-weary charm and a deep sense of pathos to the role. He's not a bad man, just a desperate one, and his performance is the soulful anchor of the film. A look at the actor filmography of Kang-ho reveals a long list of some of the best movies of cast members you could imagine, including other Bong Joon-ho hits like The Host and Snowpiercer. His performance in Parasite 2019 is a masterclass in balancing comedy and tragedy. The rest of the Kim family is a perfect ensemble of talent. Choi Woo-shik, who many international fans might recognize from the zombie blockbuster Train to Busan, plays the son, Kai-woo. He is the catalyst for the entire plot, the reluctant con man who sees an opportunity and pulls his family along with him. Park So-dam, who gives a star-making performance, plays the daughter, Kai-young. She is the master manipulator of the family, sharp, cynical, and incredibly skilled at deception. Her ability to switch personas on a dime is both hilarious and terrifying. Rounding out the family is Jang Hae-jin as the mother, Chung-suk, the pragmatic and surprisingly formidable enforcer of the group. The chemistry between these four actors is absolutely perfect. A fascinating piece of movie trivia is that Bong Joon-ho wrote the roles with these specific actors in mind, and you can feel that tailor-made quality in their seamless interactions. This incredible ensemble performance is a huge part of what makes Parasite 2019 a fan-favorite performance showcase. On the other side of the class divide, we have the wealthy and oblivious Park family. Lee Sung-kyan, another major star in South Korea, plays Mr. Park, the tech CEO patriarch. He is not a villain in the traditional sense, but his casual condescension and his obsession with not crossing the line make him a powerful symbol of the insulated upper class. Cho Yeojeong gives a brilliant performance as Mrs. Park, the gullible matriarch. She is charming, elegant, and hilariously naive, making her the perfect mark for the Kim family's schemes. The casting of these two families was a stroke of genius. There was no major casting news or speculation about other actors for these roles. Bong Joon-ho's vision was clear from the start. This incredible cast is why Parasite 2019 is considered one of the top-rated movies of the 21st century. This movie breakdown would be incomplete without acknowledging how each performance contributes to the film's powerful themes. Each character explained in this film is a vital piece of a perfect, terrifying puzzle, a puzzle we are still piecing together with this behind-the-scenes analysis. Now, let's analyze the casting of Parasite 2019 from a purely financial and strategic perspective. For a film with a modest budget, managing talent costs is absolutely critical to achieving profitability. The casting strategy for Parasite 2019 was a masterclass in efficiency, prioritizing incredible national talent over expensive, internationally recognized stars. This approach not only served the film's artistic integrity but also created a highly favorable financial structure. While the specifics of Korean film contracts differ from Hollywood's, the financial principles of managing actor salaries and leveraging a star's value are universal. A key concept that helps us understand this is the idea of back-end participation. In the Hollywood system, back-end participation is a deal where a major star agrees to a lower upfront salary in exchange for a percentage of the film's profits. This is a powerful tool for a studio to lower the initial production budget and mitigate casting risk. For Parasite 2019, with its $11.5 million budget, it's highly improbable that the actors' salaries were massive. The lead actor, Kang-ho, is a major star in South Korea, the equivalent of a Tom Hanks or a George Clooney. An A-list actor's typical salary in Hollywood might be $10-20 million, but for a domestic Korean film, even a top star's upfront fee would likely be in the mid to high six figures. The budget allocation for the entire cast was likely under 20% of the total budget, a very efficient use of capital. To secure a star of Kang-ho's caliber for a manageable upfront fee, his compensation package would have almost certainly included a significant form of back-end participation. This would mean he would get a percentage of the net profits from the film's domestic and, crucially, its international success. This is a brilliant financial move for both sides. For the studio, it dramatically lowers the upfront operating expenses, making the film less risky. For the actor, it provides the potential for a massive payday if the film is a hit. The structure of this back-end participation would have been a key part of the negotiation, directly aligning the actor's financial interests with the success of the film. This strategy also has a direct impact on the star power ROI. In this case, the star power ROI from Song Kang-ho was primarily for the domestic Korean market. His name alone guaranteed a strong opening weekend in his home country. The international success was an unexpected, massive bonus. The financial return generated by his name in Korea alone would have justified his compensation package. The other actors, while respected, were not major international stars at the time, so their upfront actor salaries would have been even more modest, further controlling the cost allocation. This is where a deal with back-end participation for the main star becomes so powerful. It allows the production to afford a top-tier actor without breaking the bank. Key stat. Based on industry benchmarks for independent and international films, a well-structured compensation package with significant back-end participation can reduce the upfront talent cost allocation by an estimated 30–50%, dramatically improving a film's risk-return profile. Ultimately, the financial story of Parasite 2019's casting is one of shrewd efficiency. By prioritizing world-class national talent and aligning their compensation with the film's success through deals that mirror the principles of back-end participation, the producers were able to create a masterpiece on a shoestring budget. Minimizing their initial risk and maximizing their share of the enormous profits from the film's unexpected global triumph, we've introduced the world and the players, but now it's time to get into the gears of the machine itself. The story. This is the part of our analysis where we provide the most comprehensive Parasite 2019 plot summary you will find, a detailed, chronological exploration of the film's brilliant and terrifying narrative. For anyone searching for a full movie explained video that breaks down the story beat by beat, this is it. We will be going deep into the screenplay analysis, exploring the movie themes, and setting the stage for the shocking final act. Be warned, this entire section is a minefield of spoilers, so if you haven't seen the film, proceed with caution. Our Parasite 2019 story breakdown begins in a cramped, squalid semi-basement apartment, the home of the Kim family. Director Bong Joon-ho immediately establishes their status and their ingenuity. They are literally at the bottom of the social ladder, stealing Wi-Fi from their neighbors and folding pizza boxes for pennies. This opening is a masterclass in visual storytelling. We are introduced to the father, Kae-tik, the mother, Chung-suk, the son, Kai-woo, and the daughter, Kai-young. They are a family unit that is both loving and deeply cynical, bonded by their shared poverty. The inciting incident arrives in the form of Kai-woo's friend, Min, who offers him a job as an English tutor for the daughter of the wealthy Park family. The catch: Kai-woo doesn't have a university degree. With the help of his artistically gifted sister, Kai-young, he forges a perfect diploma, and just like that, the infiltration begins. This first act is a brilliant piece of dark comedy, a genre that Bong Joon-ho is a master of. This is where the heist element of our movie breakdown truly kicks into gear. Kai-woo, now calling himself Kevin, charms his way into the lives of the Parks, particularly the naive and trusting Mrs. Park. He quickly identifies his first target, the Park's young, art-loving son, Da-song. In a brilliantly orchestrated move, he convinces Mrs. Park that her son is a traumatized artistic genius who needs a specialized art therapist. And who does he recommend? His cousin Jessica, who is, of course, his sister Kai-young in disguise. The narrative breakdown of this section is a series of satisfying, domino-like moves. Kai-young, with her incredible confidence and talent for deception, gets the job. Her next move is to get rid of the Park's driver. She plants her underwear in the car, leading Mr. Park to believe the driver has been using the car for his own illicit affairs. With the driver fired, who does Jessica recommend as a replacement? An experienced older driver she knows, who is, of course, their father, Kae-tik. The final piece of the puzzle is the family matriarch. The Kims need to oust the Park's loyal and long-serving housekeeper, Moon Gwang. This is their most audacious and cruelest move. In a meticulously planned operation, they use her severe peach allergy to convince Mrs. Park that the housekeeper has tuberculosis. It's a shocking and uncomfortable scene, showcasing the lengths the Kims are willing to go to. With the housekeeper gone, the Kims recommend a placement service that just happens to have the perfect candidate, their mother, Chung-suk. The first half of our Parasite 2019 plot summary concludes with the Kim family's complete success. They have all successfully infiltrated the Park household, a family of Parasite 2019's living secretly under one roof, siphoning off the wealth of their oblivious hosts. This part of the film is pure, exhilarating heist cinema, similar to films like Ocean's 11 but with a much darker undercurrent. While not inspired by a true story, the film's depiction of economic desperation feels terrifyingly real, one of the most powerful movie themes in Parasite 2019. The midpoint of the film marks a dramatic and terrifying shift in tone, a hallmark of Bong Joon-ho's genre insights. The Parks leave for a camping trip, leaving the Kims to enjoy the luxurious house all to themselves. They drink, they eat, they fantasize about a life of wealth. It is a moment of pure, unadulterated triumph. And then, the doorbell rings. This is the moment where our full movie explained analysis pivots from a dark comedy into a full-blown thriller. At the door is the former housekeeper, Moon-gwang, who claims she left something in the basement. What she left behind is the film's first shocking twist. Her husband has been secretly living in a hidden bunker beneath the house for years, hiding from loan sharks. Suddenly, the Kims are not the only Parasite 2019's in the house. This reveal sparks a desperate, violent conflict between the two parasitic families, a brutal class war fought in the shadows of the wealthy home. Just as their fight reaches a fever pitch, the Parks call to say they are returning home early due to a storm. The second half of this Parasite 2019 story breakdown is a masterclass in sustained, almost unbearable suspense, a perfect setup for the tragic and unforgettable final act that we will dissect in our Ending Explained segment. Now, let's analyze the story of Parasite 2019 not as a work of art, but as the foundational asset of a highly successful financial venture. From an investor's standpoint, a film's screenplay is the single most important piece of intellectual property. Its quality, originality, and commercial appeal directly impact every subsequent financial decision and, ultimately, the project's success. The screenplay for Parasite 2019 is a fascinating case study in how a daring, creatively risky narrative can produce an incredible risk-return ratio for its investors. Let's begin with the initial investment in the story itself. The script development cost for Parasite 2019 was, by Hollywood standards, incredibly efficient. The screenplay was an original work by director Bong Joon-ho and co-writer Han Jin-won. This means there was no expensive script acquisition cost for a pre-existing novel or comic book. Based on industry benchmarks for an acclaimed international writer-director, the total script development cost, including writer's fees, research, and multiple drafts over a period of years, could have plausibly been in the range of $500,000 to $1 million. While a significant sum, this represents a highly efficient use of capital when compared to the multi-million-dollar script deals common in Hollywood. This efficient production spending at the script stage set a strong foundation for the film's profitability. However, this efficient cost came with a massive amount of creative risk. The story of Parasite 2019, with its audacious genre-shifting structure and its dark, cynical worldview, is the definition of a high-risk narrative. The film starts as a comedy, morphs into a thriller, and ends as a gut-wrenching tragedy. This is a structure that typically alienates mainstream audiences who prefer predictable genre conventions. This high creative risk could have severely limited the film's box office potential, as it was never going to be a simple, feel-good crowd pleaser. This is the central question for an investor. Does the screenplay provide a good risk-return ratio? In the case of Parasite 2019, the answer is a resounding yes. The potential story development ROI was immense precisely because of its originality. In a market saturated with sequels and reboots, a truly original and masterfully executed story can break through the noise. The screenplay's genius was that its high-concept premise, a poor family infiltrating a rich family's home, was incredibly accessible and intriguing, while its deeper themes and shocking twists provided the wow factor that generates incredible word-of-mouth. The risk-return ratio was favorable because the risk of audience rejection was mitigated by the sheer, undeniable quality and entertainment value of the script. It was a creative gamble that paid off spectacularly. The incredible critical acclaim and eventual Oscar wins were a direct result of the screenplay's brilliance, which in turn drove the astronomical box office returns. The story development ROI is not just measured in the initial investment versus the box office, but in the creation of a globally recognized, award-winning piece of IP that will generate revenue for decades. The risk-return ratio for backing a genius like Bong Joon-ho on a project this audacious proved to be one of the best investments in modern film history. We've followed the Kim family's brilliant infiltration and their terrifying discovery in the basement. Now we have arrived at the part of our analysis that you have all been searching for. This is where we break down the final, chaotic, and utterly devastating act of the film. This is the definitive Parasite 2019 ending explained. We will be going frame by frame through the tragic climax, exploring its powerful meaning and discussing its implications for the characters. This section is, by its very nature, a minefield of heavy spoilers. So if you have not yet seen this masterpiece, this is your absolute final warning. We will also be diving into the most popular Parasite 2019 fan theories, exploring how the film's ambiguous final moments have sparked a universe of speculation. Our Parasite 2019 ending explained analysis begins at the disastrous birthday party for the Park's son, Da-song. The Kim family is in tatters. The previous night's flood has destroyed their home, and they have spent the night in a gymnasium with hundreds of other displaced people, a stark contrast to the sun-drenched, perfectly manicured lawn where they are now forced to work. This is where the central theme of the film, the invisible but uncrossable line between the rich and the poor, becomes violently literal. The twist ending isn't a single reveal, but a rapid, horrifying series of tragic events. The man from the bunker, Jun-sae, escapes and in a fit of madness fatally stabs the Kim's daughter, Kai-young. As the chaos erupts, the patriarch of the Park family, Mr. Park, reacts not with compassion but with disgust at the smell of Jun-sae, the smell of the poor, the smell of the subway. This is the final indignity for the Kim family's father, Kai-tik. In that moment, something inside him snaps. He sees Mr. Park, his condescending and oblivious employer, as the source of all his family's suffering. Kai-tik grabs a knife and, in a shocking act of class rage, kills Mr. Park before disappearing into the chaos. This violent climax is the core of our Parasite 2019 ending explained segment. It is the tragic and inevitable conclusion of the film's central conflict. The Parasite 2019s have not just been discovered. They have turned on their hosts and on each other. Now let's get into the film's haunting epilogue, which is where many of the most popular Parasite 2019 fan theories are born. We see the son, Kai-woo, recovering from his own injuries. His sister is dead, his father is a fugitive, and his mother is on probation. He becomes obsessed with the Park house, which has now been sold to a German family. One night, he sees a light flickering in Morse code. He realizes it's his father. In the film's final twist ending, we learn that his father, Kai-tik, has taken the place of the man from the bunker, now living as a ghost in the secret basement of the house he once served. The final sequence of the film is the most crucial part of our Parasite 2019 ending explained discussion. We see Kai-woo writing a letter to his father. He makes a promise. He vows that he will go to university, get a good job, make a lot of money, and one day, he will buy that very house and his father will be able to simply walk up the stairs to freedom. The film shows us this happening. We see an older, successful Kai-woo buying the house and tearfully reuniting with his father. It is a beautiful, cathartic, and hopeful moment. And then, in the film's final, crushing shot, we cut back to Kai-woo in the present day, still in his squalid semi-basement apartment, writing the letter. The entire reunion was a fantasy, a desperate dream. The film ends with the heartbreaking reality that for someone in Kai-woo's position, the dream of upward mobility of buying that house is just that, a dream. This final shot is the definitive statement of the Parasite 2019 ending explained. There is no escape. The system is rigged and the line can never truly be crossed. This ambiguous and heartbreaking finale has fueled a number of fascinating Parasite 2019 fan theories. One popular theory suggests that the final shot is not the end, but the beginning of Kai-woo's own descent into a delusion, and that he will spend the rest of his life fruitlessly trying to achieve this impossible goal. Another one of the most interesting Parasite 2019 fan theories speculates on the fate of the Park family's son, Da-song. He was the only one who saw the ghost in the basement. Does he know the truth? Could he be the key to revealing the secret of what truly happened? These open-ended questions are what make the film so endlessly rewatchable. For fans wondering about a post-credit scene, there is no Parasite 2019 post-credit scene, as the director Bong Joon-ho felt that the final shot was the perfect, haunting conclusion to the story. Now, with all these spoilers and theories in mind, let's discuss the future. The ending of Parasite 2019 does not obviously set up sequels, but it does create a rich world ripe for a universe expansion. The film's producer has confirmed that an English-language HBO series is in development, which has led to a lot of speculation about rumored plotlines. Will it be a direct remake, or will it explore other families, other Parasite 2019s, and other hosts within the same thematic universe? This potential for a universe expansion is a direct result of the film's powerful and thought-provoking ending. The story of the Kims may be over, but the story of the class war that Parasite 2019 so brilliantly depicts is tragically far from finished. This is the final word on our Parasite 2019 ending explained. The story ends, but the nightmare continues. Now, let's analyze the ending of Parasite 2019 not just as a powerful piece of storytelling, but as the financial launchpad for a potential global franchise. From an investor's standpoint, a film's ending is a critical factor in determining its long-term financial viability. The ending of Parasite 2019, while narratively final for the Kim family, is a masterclass in creating a world with immense potential for future content monetization, which dramatically increases the overall franchise IP worth. First, let's assign a sequel potential score. Based purely on the ending of the original story, the direct sequel potential score is low. The story of the Kims is complete. However, the potential for spin-offs and stories set within the same thematic universe is incredibly high. Therefore, the overall franchise potential score is high. The ending reveals that the central conflict, the brutal reality of class warfare, is a universal and ongoing struggle. This opens the door for a franchise roadmap that is not a series of direct sequels, but an anthology of stories exploring this theme in different contexts and with different characters. This is a brilliant strategy that avoids the creative risk of trying to replicate the magic of the original and instead focuses on expanding the brand. This is where we must analyze the long-term IP lifecycle value. The ending of Parasite 2019 contributes to this value in a profound way. It creates a rich and resonant mythology that can be endlessly explored. A strong, thought-provoking ending can increase the total IP lifecycle value by an estimated 20–30% over the next decade, as it fuels discussion and keeps the brand culturally relevant. The announcement of the HBO series is a perfect example of this. The deal for the adaptation rights for a series based on a Best Picture winner would be enormous, likely in the multi-million-dollar range, plus significant back-end participation. This single deal is a massive form of content monetization that dramatically increases the franchise equity valuation of the Parasite 2019 IP. This potential for a franchise has a direct impact on the overall IP valuation. Before the ending, the franchise IP worth was tied to a single, brilliant film. After the ending and the subsequent announcement of a series, the IP valuation must be recalculated to include all potential future earnings from this expanded universe. Based on industry benchmarks for a critically acclaimed, Oscar-winning IP with a planned series expansion, the total franchise IP worth for the Parasite 2019 brand could be conservatively estimated in the range of $100 million to $200 million. This value is derived from future content monetization streams, including the HBO series, potential remakes in other languages, and even stage adaptations. The risk-return ratio of a sequel or spin-off is always a concern. The risk is that a new story fails to live up to the original, diluting the brand. However, the potential reward is immense. A successful HBO series would not only be profitable in its own right, but it would also act as a massive marketing tool, driving new audiences back to the original film and boosting its long-term streaming revenue. Key stat: a successful spin-off series on a major platform like HBO can increase the streaming views of the original film by an estimated 50–100% during its run. Ultimately, the ending of Parasite 2019 is a financial masterstroke. It provides a satisfying and definitive conclusion to its story while simultaneously opening a Pandora's box of thematic possibilities. This allows for a franchise roadmap built on universe expansion rather than risky sequels, creating a pathway for long-term content monetization that will ensure the franchise IP worth continues. Every truly great film is a feast for the eyes, a world brought to life through the deliberate and artistic choices of its filmmakers. In a film as meticulously designed and visually symbolic as Parasite 2019, the visuals are not just a background for the story, they are a character in their own right. This is where we dive into the incredible and precise artistry of the cinematography and the subtle, almost invisible, magic of the visual effects. For the aspiring filmmakers in our audience, this is your exclusive behind-the-scenes look at the masterful visual language that helped make Parasite 2019 a global phenomenon. The creative genius responsible for the film's stunning and iconic look is the director of photography, Hong Kyung-pyo, a frequent and brilliant collaborator with director Bong Joon-ho. Their work together, not just on Parasite 2019, but also on films like Snowpiercer and Mother, is a testament to a shared artistic vision. The cinematography in Parasite 2019 is a masterclass in visual storytelling, using the camera to constantly reinforce the film's central themes of class division. The entire visual language of the film is built around the concepts of verticality and lines. The Kim family lives in a semi-basement apartment, and the camera is often placed low, looking up at the world outside. We see them physically below the street, a literal representation of their place in the social hierarchy. In contrast, the Park family lives in a magnificent modern house on a hill. The camera movements in their home are often smooth, elegant, and horizontal, gliding through the spacious, sunlit rooms. The lines are clean, the architecture is pristine, and there is a sense of effortless grace. This visual dichotomy is central to our movie breakdown of the film's style. The most powerful visual motif is the constant use of stairs. Characters are always moving up or down, physically traversing the class divide. When Kai-woo first approaches the Park house, he has to walk up a long, steep series of stairs. When the Kims are forced to flee the house during the flood, they descend an endless, cascading series of stairs back down into the flooded, impoverished depths of the city. These are some of the most memorable scenes in the film, and they are pure cinematography, telling the story without a single word of dialogue. This is the definition of cinematic excellence. Now let's talk about the film's use of visual effects. In an era dominated by CGI-heavy blockbusters, Parasite 2019 stands as a powerful testament to the impact of invisible, supportive visual artistry. When we do a CGI breakdown of Parasite 2019, what we find is not a lack of visual effects, but a brilliant and subtle application of them. There are no massive, fantastical VFX scenes. Instead, the visual effects are used to seamlessly stitch together the world of the film. A fascinating behind-the-scenes fact is that the magnificent Park house, which feels so real and complete, was actually a combination of a meticulously built ground floor set and a digitally added second floor. The beautiful, lush green lawn was often a green screen, with the surrounding cityscape added in post-production. The visual effects team did such a flawless job that the illusion is perfect. You never question the reality of the space, which is the ultimate goal of great visual effects. This brings us to one of the most powerful sequences in the entire film, a perfect example for our iconic Scenes Explained segment. The flood, the sequence where the torrential rain floods the Kim family's basement apartment, is a masterpiece of both practical and digital filmmaking. The flooding of the set was a massive practical undertaking, but the wider shots of the entire neighborhood being submerged were achieved with a combination of miniature models and sophisticated digital water simulations. This is where a CGI breakdown would reveal the true artistry at play. Unlike the blockbuster visuals of a disaster movie like 2012, the visual effects in Parasite 2019 are not about spectacle. They are about enhancing the emotional reality of the character's plight. The cinematography in this sequence is claustrophobic and terrifying, making the audience feel the rising water and the crushing desperation of the Kim family. This seamless blend of practical grit and invisible visual effects is a hallmark of Bong Joon-ho's style and a key reason why the visual language of Parasite 2019 is so powerful and unforgettable. This entire movie breakdown of the film's visual style shows a director in complete control of his craft, using every tool available to tell his story with maximum impact. Now, let's analyze the visual strategy of Parasite 2019 from a purely financial perspective. In an industry where visual spectacle often comes with a nine-figure price tag, the production of Parasite 2019 represents a masterclass in fiscal discipline and strategic elegance. The film's entire visual approach is perhaps the single greatest example of its core financial principle, achieving an astronomical ROI versus visual complexity. The film looks like it cost 5 times its actual budget, a testament to its incredible efficiency, which was a key driver of its massive profitability and its staggering cumulative earnings. Let's begin with the most significant line item for a visually polished film, the VFX budget. While a blockbuster's VFX budget can consume 40–50% of its total cost, this film's was likely under 10%. On a total production budget of around $5 million, the VFX budget for Parasite 2019 was likely in the range of $500,000 to $1 million. This is a remarkably controlled figure for a film with such a seamless and polished look. This money was not spent on creating fantasy creatures or digital explosions, but on invisible effects like set extensions and environmental enhancements. This represents an incredible level of production efficiency. By focusing the budget on the magnificent practical set of the park house, the filmmakers created a tangible, believable world that the subtle VFX could then build upon. This lean approach is the primary reason the film's ROI versus visual complexity is one of the best in modern cinema. This disciplined approach leads us to an even more fascinating metric, the CGI cost per minute. The CGI cost per minute for a Marvel film can exceed $1 million for its most intense sequences, whereas this film's would be negligible in comparison. The most complex VFX sequence, the flood, while visually stunning, was achieved with a combination of practical effects and efficient digital work. The CGI cost per minute for this sequence would have been a tiny fraction of a Hollywood blockbuster's, likely in the tens of thousands rather than millions. This efficiency had a massive positive impact on the budget and schedule. It eliminated the need for expensive technology licensing costs for the most cutting-edge software and drastically reduced the time and cost of post-production spending. The genius of this financial model is that the film's most valuable visual asset, the meticulously designed and claustrophobic architecture, was a physical, practical investment, not a digital one. This is the absolute epitome of smart capital allocation efficiency. The money was spent on the tangible production design which directly served the story and the performances. Key stat: a production that invests heavily in practical, on-set assets can often reduce its post-production VFX spend by an estimated 20–30%, leading to a more predictable budget and schedule. Ultimately, this incredible fiscal discipline during production is what set the stage for the film's massive, long-term profitability. Because the upfront visual costs were so tightly controlled, the film reached its break-even point with astonishing speed. This meant that the vast majority of its $263 million global gross was pure, high-margin profit, the first major deposit into what would become the enormous cumulative earnings of the Parasite 2019 IP. The visual strategy of Parasite 2019 provides a powerful lesson for investors. Elegance is cheaper than spectacle. By focusing on brilliant production design and subtle, supportive visual effects, the production achieved a legendary ROI versus visual complexity, creating a financial foundation that continues to generate impressive cumulative earnings to this day. There are few things that elevate a great film to the level of an unforgettable masterpiece more than its music. For Bong Joon-ho's Parasite 2019, the soundtrack isn't just background filler, it is the sophisticated yet deeply anxious pulse of the film. It's a character in its own right that speaks a language of tragic elegance and simmering, class-based tension. This is our behind-the-scenes look at the brilliant auditory world of the film, from its iconic themes to its clever use of classical music. The man responsible for this incredible auditory experience is the brilliant composer, Jung Ye-il, a frequent collaborator with the director. His work on Parasite 2019 is arguably his most famous, creating an iconic score that is both beautiful and deeply unsettling. The musical approach is a masterclass in minimalist precision. Instead of leaning into a purely aggressive or overtly suspenseful sound, the composer crafted a score built around elegant, Baroque-style piano and string arrangements. This choice creates a profound sense of irony. The music often has a refined, almost aristocratic quality which perfectly mirrors the sophisticated world of the Park family. However, there is always a dissonant, off-kilter feeling just beneath the surface, a hint that something is deeply wrong. This is the sound of the Kims trying to play the part of being wealthy, a musical performance that is as precarious as their deception. This technique doesn't just complement the film, it is a core part of its music-driven storytelling. The centerpiece of the entire official soundtrack is the main theme, a piece titled The Belt of Faith. This is one of those instantly recognizable iconic tracks. From the moment its precise, almost mathematical piano melody begins, the audience is put into a state of focused, intellectual suspense. The piece feels like a puzzle being assembled, perfectly mirroring the meticulous, step-by-step nature of the Kim family's plan. This brilliant piece of cinematic music is so effective that it was used as the primary trailer music for Parasite 2019, immediately signaling the film's unique, intelligent, and suspenseful tone. What makes this piece and the entire OST so effective is how it functions thematically. It's not just a heist theme, it's a theme about aspiration and the desperate, calculated climb up the social ladder. When you explore the full soundtrack list, you discover a rich tapestry of musical ideas. Tracks like The Hellgate are pure, terrifying suspense, while others like Water Ocean are sweeping and tragic, perfectly capturing the devastation of the flood. One of the most fascinating behind-the-scenes aspects of the music is the use of the song Soju One Glass, which plays over the end credits. The song was co-written by director Bong Joon-ho himself, and the lyrics are from the perspective of the son, Kai-woo, reflecting on the film's tragic events. It's a beautiful and heartbreaking piece that earned an Oscar nomination for Best Original Song. The other songs in the movie are also incredibly deliberate. The use of the famous opera aria Mio Babino Caro during a scene of chaos is a stroke of genius, using a piece of high art music to create a sense of surreal, tragicomic horror. This meticulous curation is what makes the Parasite 2019 OST so revered. The soundtrack acclaim it has received is entirely deserved, as it demonstrates how cinematic music can operate on a deeply intellectual and psychological level. For new fans discovering the film, the soundtrack's enduring popularity is evident on streaming platforms like Spotify and Apple Music, where the official soundtrack continues to find a massive audience. Its streaming success is a testament to the timeless quality of the music. This movie breakdown of the iconic score shows that Jung Ye-il's work on Parasite 2019 isn't just a great collection of film music. It's an essential component of the narrative, a perfect and unforgettable fusion of sound and story that cements its status as one of the greatest cinematic scores of the 21st century. Now, let's analyze the soundtrack of Parasite 2019 not just as a creative element but as a distinct and highly profitable financial asset. For a film with a modest budget, every ancillary revenue stream is critical to maximizing the overall return on investment. The Parasite 2019 OST is a perfect case study in how a relatively small, efficient investment in music can create a long-lasting, high-margin asset that continues to generate revenue for decades. Its financial success is built on two core pillars, a highly efficient initial investment and the long-term wealth generation of royalty income and high-value sync licensing. To understand the scale of this success, we must first examine the initial investment, the music budget. For an independent South Korean film, even a high-profile one, the music budget would have been managed with extreme care. A reasonable estimate for the total music budget would be in the range of $150,000 to $300,000. This is a tiny fraction of the millions that a Hollywood blockbuster would spend. This budget would cover the composer fee for Jung Ye-il, which, given his status in Korea, was likely a modest but fair sum, perhaps with some back-end participation. The rest of the budget would have been allocated to the costs of recording the score. Here, the production made a critical strategic decision regarding music rights acquisition. Instead of populating the film with expensive, pre-existing popular songs, they opted for an almost entirely original score. Licensing even a moderately popular song can cost anywhere from $50,000 to over $250,000, which would have been prohibitively expensive. The few classical pieces used in the film would be in the public domain, meaning there were no licensing fees to pay, only a small fee for the specific recording used. This decision to create an original score was a brilliant move. It dramatically lowered the upfront costs and, more importantly, it meant that the production and its partners retained 100% ownership and control over the new musical compositions. The return on this modest investment has been slow, steady, and incredibly impressive, best analyzed through the lens of its album sales ROI and long-term performance. While the Parasite 2019 soundtrack was never a chart-topping pop album, it has been a consistent and beloved seller on CD, vinyl, and digital platforms, especially after its Oscar win. The initial album sales ROI was likely solid, easily recouping the initial music budget. But the real story is the long-term value. This is where our two core monetization strategies come into play. The first is the steady, passive accumulation of royalty income. This is the long-tail revenue generated from the continuous consumption of the music. Every time the OST is purchased digitally, every time a track is streamed on Spotify or Apple Music, a small payment flows back to the rights holders. This consistent flow of royalty income is a perfect example of a successful long-term asset. The second, and often more lucrative, channel is sync licensing. This is the high-margin business of licensing a piece of music for use in other media. The most valuable audio asset is the theme, the belt of faith. Because of its iconic status and its instant association with a feeling of intellectual suspense and dark sophistication, it has immense sync licensing value. A luxury car brand or a tech company wanting to create a commercial with a smart, cinematic, and slightly edgy vibe would find this track to be a perfect fit. Key stat. A single sync licensing deal for an iconic track from a Best Picture-winning film in a major global advertising campaign can command a fee estimated to be between $100,000 and $250,000. That one deal could be worth more than the entire original music budget. This is a perfect example of generating cross-platform revenue, as the music earns money from a diverse portfolio of platforms around the world. The music strategy for Parasite 2019 was a financial triumph of efficiency and long-term thinking. A film's life doesn't end when the credits roll. For a true cultural phenomenon, that's just the beginning. The real legacy of a film like Parasite 2019 is measured in its ability to inspire a deep, lasting, and passionate connection with its audience. Today, we're diving into the fascinating and surprisingly rich world of fan engagement and the official merchandise that has grown around this dark masterpiece. While Parasite 2019 may not have the billion-dollar toy lines of a Disney movie, the world of its movie collectibles and fan culture is a perfect example of how a film with a massive pop culture impact can create a vibrant and dedicated community. This is our behind-the-scenes look at how a film becomes a brand. The fan engagement with Parasite 2019 is unique because it's rooted in a deep appreciation for the film's artistry and its iconic, unforgettable symbolism. This isn't a franchise built on flashy action figures. It's built on a mood, a style, and a few key, powerful symbols. The most prominent of these, of course, is the Scholar's Rock or Suziak. This object, a gift that is said to bring metaphysical luck, becomes a symbol of the Kim family's false hopes and, ultimately, a literal weapon. This has led to an incredible amount of fan art, with artists from around the world creating stunning posters, digital paintings, and illustrations that pay homage to the film's dark and beautiful aesthetic. The social media buzz around Parasite 2019, especially after its Oscar win, was colossal, with fans creating viral trends like the Jessica jingle from the film, which became a massive hit on platforms like TikTok. This passionate fandom has created a thriving market for official merchandise that is geared specifically towards cinephiles and collectors. You're not likely to find Parasite 2019 action figures in a mainstream toy store, but for the dedicated fan, there are some incredible high-end movie collectibles out there. The boutique art house Neon, the film's U.S. distributor, has released a series of exclusive drops of beautifully designed themed apparel, including hoodies and t-shirts featuring the Scholar's Rock or the iconic floor plan of the park house. The merchandise hype around these limited releases is immense within the film community, with items selling out almost instantly. This is a very different strategy from a blockbuster franchise, focusing on high-quality, low-volume items for a dedicated fanbase, similar to the merchandise strategy of a studio like A24. Beyond the apparel, the official merchandise for Parasite 2019 includes a wide range of beautifully designed items. The original movie posters themselves, with their striking, minimalist design, have become highly sought-after movie collectibles. But the most coveted items for fans are the special edition Blu-ray releases from the Criterion Collection. These are not just copies of the movie, they are meticulously curated packages with hours of behind-the-scenes content, essays, and beautiful new artwork. These limited edition releases are a perfect example of how to create premium official merchandise for a prestige film. And while you might not see a lot of mainstream cosplay from Parasite 2019, at a big event like San Diego Comic-Con, dedicated fans do put incredible effort into recreating the looks of the characters. This incredible level of fan engagement and the smart, targeted release of movie collectibles is a key part of our movie breakdown, showing how a film can maintain its cultural relevance and continue to engage its audience long after its theatrical run. Now, let's analyze this passionate fan culture from a strategic, investor-focused perspective. For a film like Parasite 2019, a dark, R-rated foreign-language thriller, the merchandising strategy must be radically different from that of a family-friendly blockbuster. It's not about volume, it's about value and brand prestige. The financial success of Parasite 2019's merchandising program is a masterclass in niche market monetization, a business built on two fundamental pillars. The low-risk, high-margin model of the licensed product royalty and the invaluable free marketing engine of fan-driven ROI. Together, these forces turn a prestige film's cultural cachet into a steady and profitable revenue stream. The core business model for film merchandise is licensing and royalties. It's crucial to understand that the rights holders for Parasite 2019, such as CJ Entertainment and Neon, do not, in most cases, manufacture the high-end apparel or the Criterion Collection Blu-rays themselves. Instead, they license the right to use the Parasite 2019 name and its iconic imagery to specialized, third-party companies. In exchange for this right, the rights holder collects a royalty on every single item sold. This is an incredibly attractive, low-risk business model. They don't have to worry about manufacturing or inventory. Their primary role is to protect the brand and collect a licensed product royalty on the success of their partners. Studios typically earn a licensed product royalty rate of 10% to as high as 20% on the wholesale price for prestige, collector-focused merchandise. Now, let's consider the projected sales. While the branded toy revenue for a film like this is zero, the revenue from apparel and high-end collectibles can be very significant. A limited edition hoodie from a boutique brand might have a run of a few thousand units and retail for $80. The wholesale price might be $40. The licensed product royalty from that one drop could be in the tens of thousands of dollars for the rights holder. The Criterion Collection release of Parasite 2019 was a massive seller. Based on industry benchmarks for a Best Picture-winning film, a special edition Blu-ray release can easily sell over 100,000 units in its first year. At a wholesale price of, say, $20 per unit, that's $2 million in wholesale revenue, which could translate to $200,000 to $400,000 in high-margin licensing income. A key part of this strategy is avoiding broad retail partnerships with giants like Walmart or Target. Instead, the focus is on specialty online retailers and direct-to-consumer sales. This entire merchandising machine, however, is fueled by something intangible yet immensely powerful, the passion of the fans. This is where the concept of fan-driven ROI comes into play. Every time a fan shares a photo of their new Criterion Blu-ray on Instagram, or a viral trend like the Jessica jingle explodes on TikTok, they are contributing to the film's cultural relevance. This constant stream of organic social media buzz acts as a powerful, free, and highly targeted marketing campaign. It keeps the Parasite 2019 brand alive and continuously generates new demand for official products. This fan-driven ROI is invaluable because it creates a direct, measurable link between unpaid fan activity and actual sales. Key stat: for niche and collector-focused merchandise, it's estimated that over 70–80% of the marketing awareness is generated by organic, fan-driven word-of-mouth, dramatically increasing the profitability of each product release. This also opens the door for cross-brand monetization. Imagine a deal with a high-end publisher to release a book of the film's storyboards. This would be another lucrative form of cross-brand monetization, generating a significant licensed product royalty. The merchandising strategy for Parasite 2019 is a perfect example of how to monetize a prestige film. The business is built on the safe, high-margin foundation of the licensed product royalty model. The engine that powers this model is the fan-driven ROI. The authentic passion of the global fanbase provides a perpetual marketing tailwind that keeps the IP relevant and drives demand for premium products. The official trailer for Parasite 2019, dropping with teaser release moments that sparked massive fan buzz, set the stage for a premiere event rivaling any competitor's press tour excitement. While the social media campaign built theatrical release hype across the globe. The journey of a film from a finished product to a Best Picture-winning global phenomenon is a story of marketing and distribution, and for a foreign-language film like Parasite 2019, that journey was a masterclass in strategic, patient, and brilliant promotion. The marketing for Parasite 2019 was not about brute force. It was about building a wave of prestige and curiosity that became an unstoppable cultural force. The international movie trailer for Parasite 2019 was a work of art in itself. The initial teaser release was a masterclass in suggestion. It showed us the beautiful, sterile world of the Park family and the cramped, chaotic world of the Kim family, but it only hinted at how these two worlds would collide. This created a huge amount of intrigue and trailer hype among cinephiles. The full movie trailer was even more clever. It leaned heavily into the film's dark comedic and heist elements, showing the Kims brilliantly executing their plan. It was funny, it was stylish, and it was incredibly intriguing. But crucially, it kept the film's shocking third act twist a complete secret. The fan reactions to the trailer were overwhelmingly positive, with viewers praising its unique tone and trying to piece together the mystery. This brilliant movie trailer is a huge part of why the film was so successful. It promised a smart, funny, and unpredictable thriller, and it delivered on that promise in ways no one could have imagined. The most powerful marketing tool for Parasite 2019 was its triumphant run on the festival circuit. Its premiere event at the 2019 Cannes Film Festival was a game-changer. When it won the Palme d'Or, the highest honor at the festival, it generated an explosion of positive press. This was the equivalent of a massive social media campaign going viral. Suddenly, Parasite 2019 was not just another Korean film, it was the most acclaimed and talked-about film in the world. The subsequent press tour with the charismatic director Bong Joon-ho was a huge success. His witty and insightful interviews, along with his now famous quote about overcoming the 1-inch-tall barrier of subtitles, turned him into a media sensation and a beloved figure for movie fans. The theatrical release strategy in North America, handled by the brilliant indie distributor Neon, was also very deliberate. It wasn't a wide, blockbuster-style worldwide release. Instead, they opted for a limited, platform release. Parasite 2019 opened in a handful of theaters in major cities, allowing the incredible word-of-mouth and rave reviews to build. As the buzz grew, the film expanded to more and more cities. This classic art house distribution model was executed to perfection. Throughout this slow-burn theatrical release, a steady stream of digital ads and targeted TV spots kept the film in the conversation. The box office breakdown shows a film that didn't have a massive opening weekend, but instead had incredible legs, playing in theaters for months and continuously growing its audience as the Oscar buzz intensified. This patient strategy was crucial to its success. This full movie explained analysis would be incomplete without understanding that the marketing sold a mystery, and the film's quality delivered the unforgettable experience. The film's eventual streaming debut on Hulu was a massive event, bringing the Best Picture winner to a huge new audience and cementing its place in the cultural zeitgeist. Now, let's analyze the marketing and distribution of Parasite 2019 from a purely financial perspective. For an independent foreign-language film, the path to profitability is a minefield of risk. The entire financial success of such a venture hinges on a shrewd, efficient, and highly strategic marketing campaign. The story of Parasite 2019's global release, spearheaded by Neon in the US, is a brilliant case study in maximizing returns through a low-cost, high-impact approach. It's a story that is best understood by dissecting its meticulously managed P&A budget and its resulting phenomenal marketing spend ROI. The foundation of any film's marketing investment is the prints and advertising budget, or the P&A budget. A blockbuster P&A budget can range from $100 million to $200 million. For Parasite 2019's US release, the P&A budget was a tiny fraction of that, estimated to be in the range of $10 million to $15 million, with a significant portion of that spend backloaded to capitalize on the Oscar nominations. This lean budget meant that every dollar had to be spent with maximum efficiency. The bulk of the media buying costs were not spent on expensive broadcast TV spots, but on highly targeted ad spend on digital platforms, social media, and print ads in publications that catered to cinephiles. This was a guerrilla marketing campaign, not a full-scale invasion. To understand the return on this investment, we must first understand how theatrical revenue is shared. The standard industry practice is the theatrical revenue split, where the box office gross is divided between the movie theater and the distributor. The distributor's share of the domestic box office after the theatrical revenue split is typically around 50–55%. So, on Parasite 2019's incredible domestic gross of over $53 million, the distributor's take would have been around $26 to $29 million. It is against this number that we measure the effectiveness of the initial marketing spend. This is where we calculate the marketing spend ROI. With an estimated P&A budget of $15 million, a domestic theatrical return of over $26 million to the distributor meant a domestic marketing spend ROI of approximately 1.7x from the theatrical run alone. While solid, the real genius of the campaign was how it used the theatrical success and the Oscar win to supercharge all other revenue streams. The Oscar win dramatically increased the value of the film's international sales and its eventual streaming licensing deals. Key stat: a Best Picture Oscar win can increase the value of a film's streaming and television rights by an estimated 50–75%, a massive boost to its long-term profitability. The true marketing spend ROI for the P&A budget must include these lucrative downstream revenues, which would push the final return into the 5x to 10x range, a phenomenal result. Finally, we must account for the distribution fees. A distributor like Neon typically takes a fee for their services, which can range from 20% to 30% of the film's net revenue. This fee covers their operational costs and their marketing risk. Even after accounting for these distribution fees, the profitability for the distributor was immense. The lesson from Parasite 2019's marketing campaign is a powerful one. It proves that a modest P&A budget, when deployed with surgical precision and amplified by the free marketing of critical acclaim and awards, can generate a marketing spend ROI that rivals, and in terms of efficiency, often surpasses that of its 9-figure blockbuster competitors. It is a perfect example of how prestige can be leveraged into massive profit. Fans of Knives Out's genre-defining twists and Us's heart-pounding social horror will find Parasite 2019 bridges both worlds, delivering powerful storytelling moments that rival franchise-level hits now streaming on Netflix, HBO Max, or Hulu. When you discover a film as unique and powerful as Parasite 2019, it's natural to want more. You start searching for similar movies that can deliver that same electrifying feeling of being one step ahead, yet constantly surprised. In this part of our movie breakdown, we're going to dive into the cinematic landscape that Parasite 2019 inhabits, looking at its biggest genre rivals, its thematic cousins, and the films it stood against during its historic awards run. This is for all the fans who finished Parasite 2019 and immediately needed another brilliant, mind-bending thriller to watch. If you want to compare with other films that masterfully blend social commentary with a thrilling, puzzle-box narrative, the most obvious and essential comparison is Rian Johnson's 2019 smash hit, Knives Out. Both films are set almost entirely within a single, magnificent house, and both use the mystery genre to explore the dynamics of class and wealth. While Knives Out is a classic whodunit, Parasite 2019 is more of a how-they-done-it, but both films are incredibly satisfying in the way they lay out their intricate plots. Both are beloved fan favorites for their sharp, witty dialogue and their perfectly cast ensembles. The box office breakdown is also fascinating. Knives Out was a massive commercial hit, proving that there is a huge mainstream audience for smart, original thrillers. Fans who loved the cleverness and the social satire of Knives Out will find a darker, more tragic but equally brilliant cinematic cousin in Parasite 2019. Another one of its most important genre rivals is Jordan Peele's 2019 horror masterpiece, Us. This is a fascinating comparison because both films are from visionary writer-directors, both use a genre framework to explore deep social anxieties, and both feature a shocking twist ending that recontextualizes the entire story. Us uses the home invasion and doppelganger horror genres to explore the duality of American identity and the idea that we are our own worst enemies. Parasite 2019 uses the heist and thriller genres to explore the brutal realities of class warfare. Both films are among the absolute top films in their genre and are perfect examples of how modern masters of cinema are using genre filmmaking to tell profound and important stories. A movie breakdown of Us and Parasite 2019 side by side reveals two very different but equally terrifying explorations of the other that lives just beneath the surface of our comfortable lives. But perhaps the most important box office competition for Parasite 2019 wasn't another thriller, but the films it directly competed with for the Best Picture Oscar. Its main rival was Sam Mendes' World War I epic, 1917. In any franchise comparisons, a big, patriotic war movie is usually a much safer bet at the box office and the Oscars than a subtitled Korean thriller. The box office breakdown shows that 1917 was a huge financial success, grossing over $384 million worldwide. It was a technical marvel, a masterpiece of cinematography and an emotional powerhouse. For Parasite 2019 to win the Oscar over a film of that scale and prestige was a historic, industry-shaking moment. This victory is a core part of the full movie explained narrative of Parasite 2019. It wasn't just a great film. It was a giant slayer, a film that broke barriers and proved that a great story, no matter where it comes from, can conquer the world. For fans looking for similar movies, exploring the other Best Picture nominees from that year like Joker and Once Upon a Time in Hollywood provides a fascinating snapshot of one of the most exciting and competitive years in recent cinema history. Now, let's analyze the competitive landscape from a financial perspective. For an international film like Parasite 2019 to succeed in the global market, it's not enough for it to be good. It has to find a viable lane in a marketplace dominated by Hollywood blockbusters. An investor considering acquiring the distribution rights for a film like this would have needed to conduct a thorough analysis of the comparative revenue of similar films, a realistic market share projection, and a clear-eyed saturation risk assessment. First, let's establish the competitive benchmarks by examining the comparative revenue of its closest genre peers. Rian Johnson's Knives Out is an excellent ROI benchmark. Produced on a smart budget of just $40 million, it grossed a massive $311 million worldwide, a phenomenal return of nearly 8x. This demonstrated that there was a huge and profitable market for original, intelligent, ensemble-driven thrillers. Jordan Peele's Us provides another crucial benchmark. Produced for an estimated $20 million, it grossed over $255 million worldwide, setting an incredibly high ROI benchmark for the social thriller genre of over 12x. This data would inform the initial market share projection for Parasite 2019, suggesting that if it could break through to a mainstream audience, the potential for profit was enormous. Next, we must conduct a budget vs. performance analysis. The key advantage for Parasite 2019 was its incredibly low budget of just $5 million. This gives it a massive competitive edge. While Knives Out was a huge financial success, its budget was more than 3 times larger than Parasite 2019's. This means Parasite 2019 needed to gross far less to achieve the same level of profitability. This is a critical factor in any budget versus box office calculation. The distributor could be profitable even with a modest art house gross, making it a much less risky investment. We can also analyze the typical returns for the genre. The genre ROI average for a prestige, R-rated thriller is highly variable. The saturation risk assessment for Parasite 2019 was actually quite favorable. While there were other successful thrillers in the market, Parasite 2019 was utterly unique. The market was not saturated with Palme d'Or-winning, genre-bending Korean social satires. This gave it a powerful and unique position. Key stat: In 2019, the prestige thriller genre had a historical market share of around 10% of the total box office, but with its unique blend of comedy and social commentary, Parasite 2019 had the potential to cross over and capture market share from multiple genres. This brings us to the core strategic challenge. The initial market share projection for Parasite 2019 in the U.S. theatrical market was likely very conservative, perhaps in the $10 to $15 million range. However, the strategy was not to compete with the big blockbusters for a piece of the mainstream pie. The strategy was to dominate the prestige, art house market and use the awards buzz as a Trojan horse to cross over into the mainstream. The risk-adjusted ROI for this strategy was incredibly favorable. The risk of the film failing to connect with a broader audience was real, but the potential reward, if it won the Oscar, was immense. The saturation risk assessment showed a clear lane, and the low budget created a high ceiling for profitability. In the end, Parasite 2019 didn't just meet its ambitious market share projection. It obliterated it, delivering a risk-adjusted ROI that far exceeded any initial conservative projections and became one of the most profitable independent films of all time, from meme references of its most iconic scene to viral fan clips that sparked massive social media reactions. Parasite 2019's cultural impact rivals any competitor's pop culture influence, creating fan engagement that lives on through TikTok clips and deep-dive Reddit theories. There are movies that are successful, and then there are movies that become a part of the very fabric of our culture. Parasite 2019 is firmly in that latter category. Its legacy isn't just preserved in film history books. It's alive and well, constantly being remixed, reinterpreted, and celebrated across the internet. The fan-driven content for this film is a universe unto itself, a testament to how deeply its story, its symbols, and its characters have resonated with audiences. This is our behind-the-scenes look at how a film becomes a phenomenon. Let's start with the viral moments and memes. The meme references for Parasite 2019 are practically a language of their own. The most famous and enduring of these is, without a doubt, the Jessica jingle. The little song that Kai-woo and Kai-young create to remember her fake identity, Jessica, only child, Illinois, Chicago, became a massive global internet trend. It exploded on TikTok, with creators making remixes, dance challenges, and comedic skits. This is one of the most perfect viral moments from a modern film, an instantly catchy and memorable piece of dialogue that took on a life of its own. But the memes go so much deeper. There are countless meme references to the Scholar's Rock, the concept of not crossing the line, and the recurring motif of the smell. These aren't just jokes. They are cultural references that use the film's iconic moments as a universal shorthand for complex ideas about class and social anxiety. The rise of video sharing platforms has given fans new ways to celebrate Parasite 2019. The viral fan clips on YouTube and other platforms are a huge part of its enduring cultural impact. Video essays that provide an Easter eggs explained breakdown of the film's incredible symbolism have been viewed millions of times. These videos dissect everything from the meaning of the architecture to the subtle visual clues that foreshadow the film's shocking ending. The fan reactions captured in these viral fan clips, often showing people's shocked faces during the film's third-act twist, are incredibly powerful, acting as organic, emotional testimonials for the film's power. And for the truly dedicated fans, the conversation goes even deeper into the world of fan theories. The Reddit theories about Parasite 2019 are a rabbit hole of fascinating speculation. One of the most popular fan theories suggests that the Park family's young son, Da-song, is the secret genius of the film. He is the only one who recognizes that the Kims all have the same smell, and he is the one who sees the ghost in the basement. This theory posits that he knows much more than he lets on and is subtly manipulating the events of the film. Another one of the most interesting fan theories speculates on the deeper, almost supernatural meaning of the Scholar's Rock, viewing it as a cursed object that brings nothing but tragedy. These kinds of deep-dive discussions are what keep the fan engagement with Parasite 2019 so vibrant. The film is so rich with detail and ambiguity that it invites and rewards endless analysis, a key reason for its massive pop culture influence. The cultural impact of Parasite 2019 is a testament to the power of a film that doesn't just entertain, but makes you think, makes you talk, and makes you look at the world just a little bit differently. Now let's translate this massive cultural footprint into the language of an investor. In the digital age, buzz and virality are not abstract concepts, they are quantifiable assets that generate immense financial value. The enduring cultural relevance of Parasite 2019 is a powerful economic engine, a self-sustaining ecosystem that creates direct and indirect revenue streams long after its initial theatrical run. We can analyze this monetary value through two primary financial frameworks: the direct return generated by unpaid media, which we call viral marketing ROI, and the indirect value it adds to the brand's entire advertising ecosystem, a phenomenon known as CPM uplift from engagement. Let's begin with the direct returns. Viral marketing ROI is a measure of the financial value created by organic, fan-driven content. Every meme, every TikTok parody of the Jessica jingle, every Reddit discussion is essentially a free advertisement for the Parasite 2019 brand. A single viral TikTok trend like the Jessica jingle can generate billions of unpaid impressions globally, representing an earned media value of millions of dollars. This is a direct revenue boost from cultural traction. If the film's distributor Neon had to pay for this level of constant brand reinforcement through traditional advertising, the cost would be astronomical. Instead, the passion of the fans subsidizes the marketing budget for the entire IP. Key stat: a successful viral marketing campaign can lower the paid media costs for a catalog title's streaming and home video promotions by an estimated 40–50%, dramatically increasing the profitability of these long-tail revenue streams. This phenomenal viral marketing ROI is the cornerstone of the film's enduring financial success. This cultural heat also unlocks new avenues for engagement-driven revenue. This is where high engagement views, likes, shares is translated directly into cash. The distributor's official YouTube channel can monetize clips of iconic moments. Because these clips generate such high engagement, they are favored by the algorithm, leading to a better ad share payout. More significantly, the film's cultural status dramatically increases its brand partnership value. While you won't see a fast food tie-in, a high-end brand like a luxury automaker or a modern furniture company might see immense value in a partnership. Blue-chip brands might pay a brand partnership value of $500,000 to over $1 million for a sophisticated, integrated collaboration with a culturally dominant, Oscar-winning film like Parasite 2019. This leads to an even more significant long-term financial benefit: the IP licensing premium. When an intellectual property is this culturally dominant and critically acclaimed, the rights holder can command higher royalty rates for all related products. The deal with the Criterion Collection is a perfect example. The rights holder can demand a higher IP licensing premium because they know the Criterion audience is a perfect fit and will pay a premium for a prestige product. The second core concept is the CPM uplift from engagement. CPM, or cost per mil, is the price advertisers pay for 1,000 ad impressions. On social media platforms, content that generates high levels of passionate engagement is algorithmically determined to be more valuable and can therefore command a higher CPM. Because the official content and the related fan content for Parasite 2019 are so highly engaged with, the entire digital ecosystem around the film becomes more valuable to advertisers. This social media CPM uplift means the rights holder earns more money from the ads that run on their official clips, creating a virtuous, self-sustaining financial cycle. The cultural impact of Parasite 2019 is a powerful, appreciating financial asset that will continue to generate significant returns for decades to come. From Oscars nominations for its outstanding performances to Golden Globe wins that sparked massive awards buzz, Parasite 2019's critical acclaim rivals any competitor's film festival highlights, earning a stellar Rotten Tomatoes score and glowing audience ratings across all streaming platforms. A film can be a box office hit, it can be a fan favorite, but for it to truly enter the cinematic pantheon, it needs the respect of critics and the recognition of its peers. The story of Parasite 2019's journey from a celebrated international film to a history-making, Best Picture-winning legend is a story of its incredible run of critical and award success. This is the part of our movie breakdown where we look at how Parasite 2019 conquered the world. The journey began at the most prestigious of all festivals, the 2019 Cannes Film Festival. Being selected to compete at Cannes is a huge honor, but Parasite 2019 did more than just compete. It won. It was awarded the Palme d'Or, the highest prize at the festival, and it won unanimously, a rare feat. This single award was the most powerful piece of marketing the film could have ever received, instantly elevating it to the status of one of the must-watch films of the year for any serious cinephile. These film festival highlights were the launchpad for its entire global phenomenon, creating a deafening awards buzz that would last for the next 9 months. Following its triumph at Cannes, the wave of positive critic reviews began to pour in from all over the world. Critics were not just impressed, they were universally ecstatic. They praised Bong Joon-ho's masterful direction, the brilliant screenplay, the incredible performances, and the film's seamless, genre-bending audacity. This overwhelming critical support is reflected in its enduring Rotten Tomatoes score. To this day, Parasite 2019 holds a near-perfect 99% certified fresh rating from critics on Rotten Tomatoes, one of the highest scores for any Best Picture winner in history. But what is perhaps even more impressive is how the film's reputation has held up with viewers. The audience scores for Parasite 2019 are consistently sky-high. On platforms like Rotten Tomatoes and IMDb, the audience ratings are in the high 90s, demonstrating a deep and lasting connection with viewers. This harmony between the critic reviews and the audience scores is incredibly rare and is a testament to the film's universal power. The awards buzz continued to build as Parasite 2019 entered the traditional awards season. It was a major contender at the Golden Globes, where it won the award for Best Foreign Language Film. The Golden Globe wins were just the beginning, as the film went on to receive a staggering 6 Oscars nominations: Best Picture, Best Director, Best Original Screenplay, Best International Feature Film, Best Production Design, and Best Film Editing. The breadth of these nominations was a testament to the film's incredible craftsmanship. On Oscar night, Parasite 2019 made history. It became the first-ever foreign language film to win the Academy Award for Best Picture. It also took home the awards for Best Director, Best Original Screenplay, and Best International Feature Film. This Oscar sweep was a seismic event in the film world, a barrier-breaking moment that cemented Parasite 2019's place in film history. This entire movie breakdown of its awards run shows a film that didn't just compete, it changed the game. The legacy of Parasite 2019's critical and awards success is a powerful one, proving that a great story can transcend any barrier. The combination of its festival triumphs, its stellar critic reviews, and its phenomenal audience scores is what has made Parasite 2019 a true, undeniable masterpiece. Now, let's analyze this avalanche of critical acclaim from a purely financial perspective. In the world of high-stakes film investment, awards and positive reviews are far more than just trophies for a studio's mantelpiece. They are powerful financial instruments that can dramatically increase a film's profitability and long-term value. The critical success of Parasite 2019, culminating in its historic Best Picture win, acted as a massive financial accelerant, transforming an already profitable independent film into a historic, multi-generational cash cow. This value can be understood through 2 core concepts: the immediate financial return, which we'll call the ROI multiplier, and the long-term enhancement of the asset's value, known as the critical acclaim multiplier. First, let's consider the investment required to achieve this success. Securing a Best Picture Oscar does not happen by accident. The U.S. distributor Neon invested heavily in a brilliant For Your Consideration campaign. A major Oscar award campaign cost can range from $5 million to over $15 million. For Parasite 2019, a smart, targeted campaign likely had an award campaign cost in the range of $5 million to $10 million. This would have included spending on trade ads, private screenings for guild members, and a sophisticated public relations effort. This is a significant, high-risk marketing expenditure on top of the initial P&A budget. However, the return on this investment is where the ROI multiplier comes into play. The Oscar wins, especially Best Picture, provided a massive and quantifiable post-award revenue boost. Historically, a Best Picture win can provide a post-award revenue boost of an estimated $20 million to $50 million in additional domestic box office alone. For Parasite 2019, this effect was immediate and dramatic. The weekend after its Oscar win, its box office gross in the U.S. increased by over 234%. The Oscar wins acted as a powerful ROI multiplier, adding tens of millions of dollars to its theatrical gross. The money spent on the awards campaign was returned many times over in direct box office receipts. This leads to the broader, more enduring financial benefit, the critical acclaim multiplier. This is how critical success enhances the long-term value of the intellectual property across all future revenue streams. Strong reviews and a Best Picture winner title create a powerful aura of prestige. This prestige allows the rights holder to engage in prestige pricing for all subsequent licensing deals. When negotiating for streaming monetization, the studio can command a significantly higher fee for Parasite 2019 than for a generic thriller. A Best Picture winner is a premium, evergreen library asset. This critical acclaim multiplier could increase its licensing value by an estimated 50–100% over a comparable, non-award-winning hit. Key stat. A film that wins the Oscar for Best Picture often sees a long-term streaming royalty bump of 50–75% compared to its nominated peers, making it a more valuable asset for a studio's streaming service. This is a direct form of award-driven revenue. The critical acclaim multiplier ensures that Parasite 2019 will always be a high-demand title, increasing its lifetime value, LTV, for decades to come. The initial investment in a quality film, followed by a strategic awards campaign, created a powerful feedback loop that resulted in one of the most profitable independent films in history as Parasite 2019 cements its film legacy with franchise potential that rivals any competitor's universe expansion. Fans speculate on sequels and spin-off ideas while the director's next projects and upcoming movies hint at a thrilling future. When we look back on the incredible, shocking, and brilliant journey of Parasite 2019, it's clear that we're talking about more than just a successful film. We're talking about a true cinematic milestone, a landmark event that broke down barriers and left an indelible mark on global culture. Its cinematic impact can be felt in the wave of international films that have found a wider audience in its wake. Parasite 2019 proved that a great story, masterfully told, can transcend the one-inch-tall barrier of subtitles and conquer the world. This enduring film legacy is the reason why, even after all these years, the conversation around its future is as vibrant as ever. This is the final part of our movie breakdown, where we discuss what comes next. Now, in the modern era of interconnected universes, the idea of franchise potential is applied to almost every successful film. For Parasite 2019, this conversation is incredibly fascinating. The ending explained in our last segment showed that the story of the Kim family is tragically and definitively over, so direct sequels seem narratively impossible. However, this hasn't stopped fans from dreaming up fascinating spin-off ideas. The most common rumored plotlines revolve not around the Kims but around the larger, unseen world of the film. The most popular spin-off ideas focus on the architect who designed the park house. Who was this man? What other secrets are hidden in the walls of the homes he designed? This is a brilliant idea for a potential universe expansion, turning the central concept of the film into an anthology of dark, interconnected stories about the secrets hidden beneath the surface of modern society. The franchise potential of Parasite 2019 is also being explored in a more official capacity. It has been confirmed that an English-language limited series produced by HBO with director Bong Joon-ho and Adam McKay is in development. This has led to a massive amount of fan anticipation and speculation about rumored plotlines. Will it be a direct remake, or will it be, as Bong Joon-ho has hinted, an expansion of the original film, exploring ideas and storylines that were left on the cutting room floor? This potential universe expansion is a direct result of the film's powerful and thought-provoking ending. The story of the Kims may be over, but the story of the class war that Parasite 2019 so brilliantly depicts is, tragically, far from finished. This official franchise roadmap is one of the most exciting developments for fans of the film. The conversation also naturally turns to the visionary director, Bong Joon-ho. The director's next projects are always a source of immense fan anticipation among cinephiles. His upcoming movies include a highly anticipated sci-fi film starring Robert Pattinson, which promises to be another major cinematic event. His work has created a unique film legacy, one that balances incredible artistic control with a genuine ability to thrill, entertain, and challenge an audience. Ultimately, while direct sequels might not be in the cards for the story of the Kims, the franchise potential of Parasite 2019 exists in its powerful thematic and conceptual framework. Its incredible cinematic impact is not about creating a multi-film narrative, but about its profound genre influence. It has set a new standard for the social thriller, and as we look to the director's next projects, we can be sure that the bold, uncompromising spirit he perfected with Parasite 2019 will continue to shape the future of cinema for years to come. Now, for our final analysis, let's consolidate everything we've discussed into a comprehensive investor summary. We will project the long-term financial future of this monumental independent asset, moving from its impressive past performance to its enduring forward-looking value. This involves a final cumulative yield analysis of the Parasite 2019 IP, an honest assessment of any sequel investment risk, and an estimation of the total value of the intellectual property itself. The story of Parasite 2019 is a masterclass in turning a high-risk, low-budget art film into a multi-generational, blue-chip financial asset. First, let's perform a conclusive cumulative yield analysis. To date, the Parasite 2019 IP has generated revenue from a wide array of streams. A global box office gross of over $263 million, tens of millions in home video and VOD sales, revenue from its acclaimed soundtrack, and a continuous high-margin flow from international television rights and streaming licenses. When we aggregate all of these sources, the total revenue generated by the IP is likely well over $300 million, on an initial investment of around $11.5 million. The profit margins are astronomical. This breathtaking performance is the result of a series of powerful ROI multiplier effects. The initial Palme d'Or win was the first multiplier. The Oscar wins acted as a second massive ROI multiplier, exploding its box office and international sales value. Looking forward, we must project the long-term franchise ROI. While Parasite 2019 is not a traditional franchise, we can analyze its value as if it were. Over the next 10-20 years, the IP will continue to generate legacy revenue streams. This includes the highly lucrative HBO series, which will act as another powerful ROI multiplier. A successful film franchise can achieve a long-term franchise ROI of 10x to 20x its initial investment over a decade. Parasite 2019 has already exceeded that benchmark, and with the HBO series, its long-term franchise ROI will be even higher. This leads us to an estimation of the total IP lifecycle value. The IP lifecycle value is the total net profit an intellectual property can be expected to generate over its entire lifespan. The total IP lifecycle value for a top-tier, Best Picture-winning IP like this could be estimated in the range of $100 million to $250 million, when accounting for all past and future earnings, including the HBO series. Key stat: a successful prestige TV series spin-off on a major platform like HBO can act as an ROI multiplier of 2-3x on the original film's long-term streaming and licensing revenue. Of course, there is always sequel investment risk. The primary risk for the HBO series is that it fails to live up to the original, which could slightly tarnish the brand. However, with Bong Joon-ho's involvement, this risk is mitigated. In our final cumulative yield analysis, Parasite 2019 stands as one of the most financially successful and efficient independent films in history. It is a masterclass in franchise lifecycle profitability for a non-traditional franchise, proving that a timeless asset can continue to yield substantial returns for decades to come.
And that's the final breakdown on this brilliant financial strategy. Subscribe for more deep dives into how movies make money with a small budget. We're your source for indie box office analysis and movie budget breakdowns. What indie movie should we analyze next? Let us know.